Right, so today we're going to make this lure. This is the mould I'm going to be using to make the jig heads. We've got size 1 do it moulds, the loops that we're going to be putting inside these. So make sure you stay with us. We're going to be running through the whole process of making the head. We're going to make the actual body, and we're going to mount it all together. So you've got a finished lure, literally from start to finish, the whole process of making homemade lures, including obviously the silicone bodies. I'm not sure if silicone is the correct word, but anyway, you guys know what I mean. So let's get on with it. So this specific mould has a floating hook, so you can sort of run it as weedless, but this is probably not the way everyone else would do it, but it's just an easy way to do it, quite cheap and effective. So I just loop a hook onto the do it mould clip, and then just put that in. We'll shut the mould up and pour the lead in, and you'll see what it looks like in 2 seconds. Obviously, once you've poured a few of these, you will not want to hold it by hand like this, because it will get very, very hot. And when I say hot, I mean very hot. But this is obviously the first pour, so it's not hot at all. There you have it. Boom. There's your hook, floating hook, like I say. And we're just going to cut that front section off where it's come in. There we go. Cut that off, chuck that in there, and next we're going to stick some eyes on. So 2 seconds, and we'll be on to that process in 2 seconds. Right, so for the eyes, this specific mould will take 5mm eyes. So I'm going to just drop a little bit of super glue in there, that little pencil thing. I'm not sure what they're called, it just makes it easier to pick up the eyes. You just literally dab it on top of the eye and it picks it up. You'll see in 2 seconds when I managed to get hold of one. There, look, see how it's just sort of holding on to it? And you just literally just plonk that straight on top of the super glue. Give it a couple of little dabs, and that is it. It's that eye is stuck on there then, and that is not going anywhere. A couple of little dabs. And just hold it for a little second, and then that is literally, that is it. That is, you don't, I mean, some people will probably maybe put a bit of a varnish or something over the top of it as well, but it's just pointless really. If one falls out, you just stick another one in. But I've not had none fall out yet with using this super glue like this. Seems to work magics. So let's get on and do the other side. Boom. As easy as that. Literally, it is as easy as that. A little bit of glue, drop the eye in, couple of dabs, that is it. It is stuck and it is not going anywhere. Happy days. Nice and easy, done. There's your head. So now to the mould. As you can see, it is literally, this is stuff that I've used previously, and it's gone just like the silicone-y stuff, so it's all spongy and whatever. But the good thing about it is I can reuse this now. It's literally just a matter of plonking it back into the microwave, heating it up, and you can reuse it. But I'll add a bit more in so I know that I've got enough. I will let you know what it's, I can't remember what the stuff is actually called. I bought it online. It's just a lure solution stuff, and you just literally just heat it up slowly but surely until it's it goes from a white to more of a cleary colour, almost see-through. And just slowly but surely do it. I keep it on a medium heat. I usually put it on to about 5 minutes, and it's usually done by about 4.5 minutes on a medium heat. So I'll show you in a second what it looks like once it's about ready. We'll do a halfway stop and then we'll do a full stop. So this is when it's almost there. It's not quite there. It's a bit sticky still. It still looks quite white as well. But you'll see in a minute it goes a lot clearer and more like a proper liquidy sort of state. Oh, crikey. So it's starting to turn now. You can see it sort of changing colour a little bit. We'll just keep going and keep going and keep going until it's gone more clear. There you go, so that's pretty much almost there now. In fact, it is pretty good. I'm going to give it a quick another little blast. I actually shall put some liquid in now. I'll say not liquid, some colourant. So this is a pearl white colour that I'm going to add with it. Yeah, I quite like the pearls, I quite like whites. They seem to work really well, the areas that I fish. So I never measure it. I just pour a bit in and just go with the flow, to be honest with you. Give it a mix up. It's not like a really vivid colour. It's just a nice, decent, pearly sort of white. I've got some blues, I've got some glitters and a bit of everything. But I thought I'd keep it nice and basic today, just to show everyone, you know, just how easy it is to do. There we go. And that's it really. I'm going to bang it back in the microwave quickly just while I get the mould ready, and we'll pour some out. So there's the mould. So this is a copy, so to speak, of the fish minnow body. Sorry, not fish minnow, black minnow body. You'll see me pour this in now. I do make quite a mess of it, but you'll see how good they still come out. It's because I am actually pouring it left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I make a bit of a bodge. I spill it everywhere and whatnot, but they still come out perfectly fine. You can just trim them up however needs be. So let's get these poured in. So that is then poured. Once you've poured it, you don't want to be going anywhere near it again, just touching it with a spoon like I did, because it just starts to pull it out. It dries really quickly on the surface part, and you end up just making more mess and ruining it. Then you got to melt them back down again. So where I'm pulling it, you just don't even touch it. I'm as worse as everyone else. You want to try and clean it off, but you're best off just leaving it and trimming it afterwards. It probably takes a good 3 or 4 minutes, 3 minutes I suppose, to cool down until you can get them out of the lure. I always seem to take them out too early, but hey ho, they're still really quite hot now. Ideally you could do with leaving them for another 5 minutes or so. They just become a bit more rigid because they're really soft still at the moment. But as you can see, look, perfect really. There's a little bit of trimming need doing on them, and it's got a split body, so you can run it weedless, or you don't need to run it weedless. It's all down to where you position the hook. You can use normal hooks on it as well, like I have, or the normal, like the VMC normal jig head hooks that are attached without the do it mold loops. There's one hook that runs all the way through. So we'll just trim these up, and then I'll come back to you in a second once these are all trimmed up, and then we'll get the head mounted on. To be fair though, you can see how easily it's all just pulling off. You don't really need to put any scissors to them. Take a little bit of time pouring them, and you know, you don't need to trim anything. It's just that I wasn't really full concentration. I was using my left hand, so I made a bit of a mess of them. But they're, you know, within seconds they're like brand new, ready to use. You know, a fish isn't going to worry about a little bit of blemishing on the top. But it's all down to personal preference, I suppose. But I think they look pretty good, to be honest with you. Let's get this last one out. Like I say, it's got the same again, bit of spillage over the top, but most of that just pulls straight off. You can just pull it off, and it's good to go. These are still really quite soft low, so really they need to sit for a little bit just to stiffen up, to stiffen up a little bit, because they're still quite warm to touch as well. But yeah, it's all in all, they're pretty good, you know. 5 minutes, done. Happy days. So let's get on and get these mounted onto the jig head that we made a second ago. So same again, just normal bit of super glue. That super glue is actually from Poundland, 3 bottles for £1 it was. And then just get your jig head. Trying to line it up prior to putting the hook in. So once you've done a couple, you'll know basically where it wants to go, but you just want to make sure that you line it up so you put the hook in the right place, so your body's not too high, your body's not too low. Once you're happy with that, just bang it in, feed it through, and then just all line it up nicely. So get that, spin it round. These obviously, if you had a non-split body one, you just feed it in and just feed it straight out the top like you would any other lure that you're putting a jig head on. But because they're weedless, you know, you can have it running so it's sitting nice and high. Or if you wanted to, if you was to bring the lure further forward, it would drop. So where you come out, if you bring it further forward, it would drop the hook down, making it more weedless. So it's entirely how you want to do it. And then just get your super glue, just bang a bit around the top of the body there. Don't want to go too crazy because you'll end up sticking your fingers to the body, and then that's not very fun. And then just literally just squeeze it down tight to the body, and then hold it for a few seconds. Once you're happy where it's at, just literally just hold it, wait a second, and that is it really. That's pretty much stuck already. I'll just hold it for a little bit longer. You see how it's sticking to my fingers, and that is pretty much it. There is nothing else to do now. Just hold it for a little bit longer, make sure it's stuck. That is it, mate. It is on there, and there's nothing else to show really. That is it. You see how high where I've come out further down, so the hook sits really high. So that's how I want it. It's perfect. If you want it to sit lower in the body, if you was to come out further along, it would push the hook down into the body, making it more weedless. But there you go. That in what, 15-20 minutes max. You know, and that's cooling time, sticking the eyes on. You can get these down and done a lot quicker once you've done a few, but I don't think that's turned out too bad. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give us